Well, all right, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, whether you're watching this on Twitch TV or you're watching this on YouTube. Welcome to my reactions video to the big Xbox announcement press conference that just ended just moments ago. I figured the best way to do a reactions video is to quite literally do it right after I watch it. That way, all my feelings are fresh and new and current in my head. I took copious notes during the press conference, so we're going to talk about all the things that they talked about during the conference. And if you didn't see it, you might be a little shocked. Let's put it that way. Alright, so they open up with the guy who's like the head of Microsoft, whatever, the head of Xbox, I think. He comes out and he announces right out of the bat, alright, here it is. The new console is called the Xbox One. And they actually, unlike the PlayStation press conference from several months ago, they actually had it there to show you. So what does the Xbox One entail? Well, it's a box. And like literally, it's a box. It's a rectangular kind of box. I would equate it to, it kind of reminded me of like the first wave Blu-ray players. It kind of reminded me almost of like the Philips CDI. It's a big blocky thing. Now, no one picked it up, so I couldn't tell exactly how large it really is, but it did look pretty substantial from the size of it that they were showing. It also comes with another Kinect sensor, which I'm sure everyone out there was dying to get. You wanted a new Kinect sensor. Well, guess what? This new Xbox comes with one. Now, here's my question, because I'm curious about this. What if you buy the new Xbox and you need another one for whatever reason? Maybe you want to do cooperative gaming. Maybe yours broke. You dropped it like an idiot. Well, if you drop it, it's not covered under warranty. If you buy another one, you get another Kinect sensor. Like, they didn't have any option to say you could buy it without this new Kinect sensor. So, you may end up with multiple Kinect sensors all around your house for no fucking reason. The Kinect sensor has been upgraded to 1080p quality instead of just the, I guess this one was 720p or whatever. And the new controller looks pretty much almost identical to the old controller. What it looks like they've done is they've improved the thumbsticks to be more precision. They actually dramatically improved the D-pad. I can already tell just looking at it. It's a real D-pad. This shitty-ass D-pad that they put on this one, that's this circle bullshit, it's terrible. It doesn't really control well at all, and that's why a lot of games don't even tell you to use it. But in the new Xbox, it's a cross, which is more like my controller that I bought, my Pro controller, which is made by a third-party company. It's more like a cross like that. So that makes more sense. That's an improvement that I definitely think is a good idea. But outside of that, no other added things to the controller. It wasn't like, oh, you've got fucking wonky motion or anything like that. It's just a standard Xbox 360 controller for the most part, okay? So, the first thing that they demoed was, oh, look at this, you can use vocal commands with the new Kinect to move around your Xbox. So, he turned it on by saying Xbox One on. Well, actually, I think he just said Xbox on. And then he went between menus by naming the different menus, and it would go between the menus. And then he says there's this new tab on your Xbox dashboard called Trending, where what you're going to see is all the things that most people on Xbox are watching and doing, and it's going to include movies and games and music, to which I say, yeah, right. What that's really going to show is what third-party companies paid Microsoft to feature their products on the Trending tab and pretend like everyone's watching it. That's all I have to say about that, because you know it's bullshit. Skype capability. They said that Skype now is built into the Xbox, and you can do full 1080p live, webcam chats on Skype via the Xbox, and they demoed it. It was funny because some guy calls him. I was like, that guy should prank him. He should totally be like completely naked on the couch and be like, hey, look, Skype works on Xbox One with his dick out or something. That would have been great. But no, so he shows that it works. Skype works with it. But then what he kind of showed was the multitasking feature of the Xbox One, that you can actually be in multiple menus at once. So you could be watching a movie and then say Internet Explorer and another tab pops up. So it's kind of like your computer when you really think about it, where you can open up multiple applications at once. You could do it on your Xbox One. So kind of what it is kind of like a computer slash TV tuner slash everything you can think of. And quite honestly, that seemed to be the focus of the press conference, was showing you all these new entertainment capabilities of the Xbox One, and a very, very minor focus on gaming, okay? They also showed the Xbox One Guide, which is a built-in channel guide that supposedly is supposed to show you all of your television, okay? But I immediately said on the stream or not on the stream, in my stream chat, when they announced this, I said, now wait a minute. Let's think about this rationally. Right now, my cable company is Cablevision, okay? And their cable service charges me monthly to have a cable box in my home that has the built-in channel guide, the DVR, and all of that. So now the Xbox is saying that they want to take over that. Here's the problem. It's not my decision to let the Xbox work with my cable. It's actually my cable company's. So if my cable company says, fuck Microsoft and fuck Xbox, we want you to continue renting our cable box, we don't want you using the Xbox, they'll just make it so that the channel guide doesn't work with the Xbox. And I almost guarantee you that the majority of cable providers are not going to tweak their fucking software so that it works with the Xbox. So all you're going to be able to probably do is tune into your cable, but you won't be able to really use the guide. I realistically don't see that working. So that's a feature right off the bat. I'm very skeptical of even seeing that work once the Xbox One launches. I guess I'll have to remain skeptical, but not, you know, be a negative naysayer. But I really doubt they're going to work with every cable company to get that to work. Okay, so then they started getting to specs. We're like, oh, finally, specs on the damn thing. They didn't really say, I don't know if they named the processor that was in it. I didn't catch it, but to be honest, I'm not up on the processors anyway, so I couldn't even tell you if it's good or not. He did mention that it has 8 gigabytes of RAM in it and a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So right off the bat, wow, you know, that's a big-ass hard drive. That's a lot of RAM. I mean, I'll be honest, my PC actually has a little bit more than that, but that's still really damn good. And so hopefully that's going to hold up for next-gen consoles, you know, to be able to run all the new games. I think it will, but we'll see what happens with that. Then, oh my God, he kept talking about Smart Glass, which is an app for, you know, your tablet or whatever. Oh, you can use Smart Glass to do it. Who the fuck uses Smart Glass? Why would you use Smart Glass to fucking control anything? You just bought a game console with a controller and a Kinect. Why are you going to use Smart Glass when you can use those things? I don't know, that was weird. They did mention that they're upgrading Xbox Live. That right now there's about 15,000 servers online for Xbox Live for the Xbox 360. They're upgrading to 300,000 servers, and that's to accommodate not only for gaming, but also the fact that now you're going to have people constantly downloading movies and constantly doing Skype calls and doing that kind of thing, and they want to be sure that they have the bandwidth to handle it. To which I say, that's great. That's definitely a push in the right direction. They understand that they're going to need massive capacity. At the same time, I'm skeptical because will that really affect anything that people care about? Like, okay, so I'll be able to make Skype calls, no problem, but what about my games? Will my game have better online play? Will there be less lag on the Xbox than versus the PlayStation 4? And it really wasn't discussed whatsoever. He kind of glossed over that. So I thought that was almost an opportunity that he just missed out on because he didn't even mention it. Then he mentioned that it will have actually a game DVR built into the console, and there will be editing abilities in the console because basically he wants you to be like the biggest gamer on Xbox Live, where you can have bragging rights to all your friends that you know, oh, look what I did in the game and blah, blah, blah. He never mentioned anything about possibly uploading to YouTube or another site. Never mentioned whether or not it's actually like archived on the console or whether it's going to get uploaded to the cloud. So it's a very murky, very unclear right now exactly how this is going to work. If you want my honest opinion, I think that maybe that's something that they threw in there in the past couple months after PlayStation 4. That press conference, they announced that they're going to have the ability to be, you know, making videos and uploading to the internet. I think that maybe Microsoft was like, oh shit, let's, you know, put it in there too. So maybe they don't even know how they're going to implement it yet. But I think it is interesting that this next generation of consoles, especially with the fact that we've still got people who are having all kinds of copyright issues and stuff with gameplay, that the consoles themselves are going to allow you to record your gameplay. How you implement that on the internet, I don't know, but I guess we'll have to see. They also mentioned that achievements will be carrying over to the new Xbox. So, you know, there will still be achievements in games, but he mentioned that they're going to be different, but he didn't really explain how. He was like, oh, they'll be more catered to your gameplay style, and so people will really be able to see what kind of a gamer you are when they look at your achievement score. And I'm like, but what, how? Like, I don't get it. Like, achievements are achievements. How are you going to say, oh, you dropped from 40 matches of Injustice. You got an achievement that says you're an asshole. So people, when they look at your gamer card, they'll know you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, what is he talking about? He didn't really elaborate on that either, and that was kind of disappointing. I would have liked to know exactly what he was talking about. And then he also mentioned matchmaking, and he said that matchmaking is going to be more dynamic. Rather than you just jumping online and matchmaking with anyone, or even just jumping online based off of, say, a win-loss ratio or something like that, that matchmaking supposedly, I don't know how they're going to implement this either, is going to be dynamic to you and your playstyle and your skills. So maybe people who are more accommodating to you, or people who you're more compatible with playing, maybe matchmaked in with you. And again, he was like, that's part of the new server structure, is that it's going to be a better experience. You're going to have bigger online matches than any other console, is what he was trying to say. Like, I guess what he's trying to say is, if you remember on a game like Battlefield 3, where on the PC, I believe it was 32-player multiplayer matches, but on consoles it was limited to like 16 or 18. I think what he's trying to say is he wants the Xbox to be able to have those giant experiences, and I guess it's kind of a hint at maybe MMOs and stuff that may be coming up for the console, that it's going to be able to handle that kind of stuff because of the increase in the online, infrastructure or whatever. So he mentioned that as well. And then finally they started talking about games. And this was probably, for most people, the most disappointing part of the press conference, because when you're watching this press conference, the whole time you're like, all right, we got the specs, we got the general idea, just get to the games. Let's talk about what games are coming, and let's see the footage, and let's see how it looks on all this new hardware, right? And what proceeded to happen were a bunch of people came out and talked about the great games that are coming, and they showed no fucking gameplay whatsoever. So I'm not exaggerating, I'm not like trying to be a dick. They didn't show any actual gameplay from any game. What they showed were a series of pre-rendered cutscenes and trailers that are not real gameplay. But it was funny because during the conference they were like, now here's gameplay, and then they would play a trailer, and you're like, how stupid do you think gamers are? We know what's gameplay and what's a pre-rendered trailer. That's not real gameplay. I want to see clips of gameplay, and it never materialized. So, the first studio that came out to talk was EA, to which immediately hisses and boos were heard across the internet because everyone hates them. And this guy from EA comes out and he announces that EA Sports is going to be a big dominating force on the Xbox One, and that there's 4 major titles coming to the Xbox One in the next year, which were FIFA, Madden, what was it? Was it NBA and what was the last one? Oh, UFC. That's right. So all those games are coming out in the next year. And I guess the big announcement was that there's an exclusive mode for FIFA that's going to be called Ultimate Team Mode, and it's only going to be on the Xbox One. So right there, if you are a person who's buying both consoles, or you're looking to buy one of the consoles and you're heavily into FIFA, you're probably going to buy the Xbox One to get the extra mode. Okay? But it was kind of funny because as they made this announcement, they're like, oh, now let's have a montage of athletes talking. To which everyone watching was like scratching their head like, what the fuck do real-life athletes have to do with the games? Nothing. So it was a complete fluff segment, wasted fucking time. So really dumb. And then, of course, they showed pre-rendered cutscenes from all the games, which you knew was not real-time gameplay. So it is what it is. I mean, it looked good, but it's a pre-rendered cutscene. Every pre-rendered cutscene looks good. There were pre-rendered cutscenes a decade ago that looked better than the gameplay today, so I don't think that it really constitutes much of anything. Then they had some guy come out to talk about Forza 5, which is coming to Xbox One, and he talked about, oh, it's going to be so good and immersive, and you're going to see things that like never before, like wear and tear on your car and the environment and imperfections in the metal. And then they proceeded to run a pre-rendered cutscene rather than actually showing you any of what he just talked about. So you had no idea whatsoever what any of it actually is going to look like because they didn't show it. Then they had, this was kind of weird, they had Remedy Studios come out and talk about a game. And this was weird because I'd actually forgotten about that these guys were the guys behind both Max Payne and Alan Wake. So basically what they were saying is these guys are really good at narrative and story. And I said, so now we're going to show you an exclusive look at the new game coming out that's going to be on Xbox One. It's called Quantum Break. And what proceeded to happen was probably the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. It shows a little girl with a woman, and it's not a game, it's actually like filmed, real people. And the girl's saying, oh, do you really want to see what I can... No, the woman says to her, why do you people treat you so differently? What is it that makes you so different? And the girl says, do you really want to see what I can do? And the woman says, yes. So she touches the woman. It then cuts to a graphic. It's not real filmed anymore. It's actually rendered in some engine of a boat, a giant boat freighter coming towards a bridge. All of a sudden, the freighter disappears and reappears right next to the bridge, slams into it, completely destroying the boat and the bridge. People go fucking flying. Then it shows people shooting. Again, this is all game graphical engine. It shows people shooting in a pre-rendered cutscene, and then it cuts back to the girl. And then it ends. What the fuck did I just see? What kind of game is this going to be? Is this going to be a story-based game with puzzles? Is this going to be like Heavy Rain? Is it going to be an action shooter because you saw people shooting? What the fuck did I just see? And what was the point of that? Like, there's a new game coming. Here's something really fucking confusing. Like, how does that advertise the game? So I have no fucking clue what Quantum Break is. All I know is there's some girl in it. I don't even know if she's going to be a character in the game. Maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's not even a game. Maybe it's a movie coming out next year and it was a movie trailer. I wouldn't fucking know because it made no fucking sense to me. Okay. So then, the head of Microsoft or whatever came out again, and he boasted that there will be, in the first year of the Xbox One, there will be 15 exclusive games for the console. So console exclusives you cannot play on any other console. And 8 of those 15 are going to be brand new franchises. So it's not just a continuation of some other franchise that's only going to be on the console. It's actually going to be 8 completely new franchises. So that, for me at least, that's encouraging, because that means at least you know they're working on the games. I would have just liked to know what the fuck they were, but we're going to continue on with the press conference. Next they show Halo, to which everyone is, again, on the internet is groaning, oh god, can they fucking stop with their one-trick pony with Halo? Like, it was such a reach that the game was popular on the original Xbox and then became as big as it was, and now it's kind of getting played out just like Call of Duty. Like, we're tired of Halo, can you stop it? Nope, no, they're expanding Halo, because apparently last year they had that stupid series Forward Until Dawn on the internet, and then it went to DVD, and I guess people fucking watched it, even though I didn't, and I don't know anyone else who did, because now they're starting a Halo TV show. What the fuck does that have to do with the Xbox One? I don't fucking know, but I guess they figured, hey, we're having a press conference about Microsoft, we might as well brag about Halo again. So Steven Spielberg is involved somehow with this series, and they had him there talking, and I didn't give a fuck, because I want to know about the Xbox One. That's what this press conference is supposed to fucking be about. Okay. Then they announced another big thing, supposedly. The NFL has an exclusive partnership with the Xbox One. And when you watch the NFL on Xbox One, you're going to get exclusive content and all kinds of fun stuff. What exactly you're going to get that's better on Xbox One than just watching it on regular TV was never explained, was never elaborated on, to which I say it's bullshit. It's probably going to be like when you watch it, you can open up your sidebar and there's some stats or nonsense that you're going to have. No one's going to fucking use it, but they got it. Oh, this is a big acquisition for us, the NFL. Even though, keep in mind, the Xbox is international and outside of the United States, no one fucking watches NFL anyway. But let's make that a big part of our worldwide press conference. Okay. Alright, so then they finally started giving some information about release, and they did say the Xbox One will be released this year. Now, this is very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me. Because now you've got the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One that are both going to be released in one freaking year. That's going to be nuts. And I'm curious now to see, because they're both in the same year, what is going to be the timing of these consoles coming out. Because keep in mind, you don't want to wait too long. If you release it in December, it's too close to Christmas. People won't have that build-up to buy games and stuff for Christmas. If you do it too early, now you have the chance of maybe cutting into other games. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. I'm really curious that after E3 in just a few weeks, if maybe all of a sudden you'll have the announcement at E3 that these are the release dates of the consoles and you'll be able to go reserve them. But Xbox One is coming out this year along with PlayStation 4, which is pretty crazy. And then the only other thing that actually happened, which was a big chunk of the press conference, it was a good like 15 minutes, was Call of Duty. Yeah, their big close to the conference was the game that everyone's getting bored of, that the only people who are buying it are the same group of fucking people who don't play other video games. They're like, oh, I need my Call of Duties. That's right, boy. I go home, and after a long day of not working, I go home and I play my Call of Duties, and I shoots people on the internet, and it's fun. So this is the people that they're fucking appealing to, and I'm like, who cares about this? Like, seriously. But, okay, this is their big fucking reveal at the press conference. So, they announced, first of all, that all Call of Duty DLCs for Call of Duty Ghosts, which is the next game coming out, is going to be console exclusive to the Xbox 360 a full month before any other console, just like it's been all along. To which, of course, again, if you're a gamer, you groan because it's not fair. You want to be able to get a fair shake no matter what console you own. And if you choose to get the PlayStation 4 instead of the Xbox One, why should you be punished? I don't agree with the DLCs coming out on one console before another. I completely disagree with that practice. I think it's actually underhanded, and I don't think it should be allowed, but it's business. Alright, so then they start talking about Call of Duty Ghosts and all the new things that are going to be in it. And it was funny because they're announcing, I'm like, okay, so they're announcing some interesting things about the game. And I realized, wait a minute, Call of Duty Ghosts is cross-platform. So basically they're wasting 15 minutes of the Microsoft press conference to talk about a game that's going to be sold on other consoles too. Why didn't you focus on a game that would actually sell your console? So it was a complete waste of time in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. So what's the new things coming with the new Call of Duty? You've got a dog, that's right. Good old Fido, Scooby-Doo, you know, Lassie is joining the cast of Call of Duty Ghosts, and the dog will go sniff out enemies and sniff out explosive traps for you, to which I say that dog's not going to fucking be implemented that much in that game anyway. How silly. Oh, it's a dog. Yeah, it's a fucking dog. Who cares? Anyway, they did mention there's a new engine that the game is running on. I assume if it is a brand new engine, the game will probably look really good. Call of Duty never really had a problem with graphics. It always was a game that stood out graphically. It always runs at 60 frames per second. They did confirm that this will run at 60 frames per second as well. So the game will probably look really good. Again, I couldn't tell you because they didn't show any real gameplay, but I'm assuming it's going to look good. They mentioned that for the single-player portion of Call of Duty Ghosts, they actually got the guy who wrote Traffic and also wrote and directed the movie Syriana. Both of which, by the way, are movies that I saw and I very much enjoyed. So I'm like, wow, that's great. That's really good. And then I realized something. I said, boy, Microsoft doesn't really know their clientele at all, do they? Well, not Microsoft, I'm sorry. Whoever put together this Call of Duty press conference. Because they put together all these resources and everything to make a really great single-player campaign, supposedly. Problem is, 90% of the people that buy Call of Duty never play the campaign. They buy it, they pop it into their fucking Xbox on launch day, they put on their fucking weird-looking headphones and, you know, their controllers and their fucking chat sets, and they go on and say, it's time! It's time for duties! Yeah, I'm shooting things, boy! Yeah, this is a good game! Yeah, yeah! And that's all they do, and they play it for like a year straight. They never fucking stop playing the multiplayer. That's the mindset of the common person who buys this fucking game. So for me, I'm confused, like, what the hell are they even, like, working so hard on the campaign for? If anything, you know what they could really do? They could sell this game for $40 and just sell the multiplayer every year. They really could. But that's the thing. They want to sell a $60 game and make more money, so they actually throw in the single player. So anyway, they start talking about the campaign of the game, and they're showing all kinds of stuff. And it's funny as hell because they're obviously they're hoping that the person watching the press conference is a complete fucking idiot, because some of the things that they say are just so asinine, like, for the first time you'll be able to slide and shoot. Which I said, that's been in first-person shooter games for years. You'll be able to lean around corners. You mean like every other first-person shooter game? Like, what were they talking? These aren't revolutionary new things they're adding to the game. This has been in first-person shooters for 100 years. You're just finally catching up to everybody else. So what the fuck were they talking about? I don't get it. Really stupid. Oh yeah, the fish. When you're swimming, the fish will swim away from you. Wow, I'm sold. You know what? I'm going to the store right now to pre-order. I gotta get those fucking fish. I just don't get it. These aren't things that sell games. This is what they're focusing on in their stupid video. It made no fucking sense at all, okay? Now, they did mention two things it's added to the series that are new that may actually interest people. The first one was dynamic multiplayer maps. So what they're saying is, in multiplayer, it's not just going to be like it used to be where it's a map and it's always the same. These maps will have like traps, they'll have things that change during the course of the match. So maybe there'll be a pile of logs, and if someone's running by the logs, you can shoot the logs and they'll pile down and kill the guy. Maybe there'll be things that explode, so from across the map, if a guy's next to an explosive canister, you can snipe it, it'll blow up and it'll kill him. So they're saying these maps will be dynamic, and you're going to have to really learn these maps rather than just run around and abuse bullshit. You'll actually have to learn the maps because people will know traps and stuff that they can use on you. And the other new thing that they're adding to Ghosts is customization of your character's appearance, which you could never really do before. Sure, you could change your tag and your whatever it was, the fucking ID card or whatever the fuck it was. And, you know, you can use symbols to make really racially insensitive things and giant penises like everyone always does every year in Call of Duty. But outside of that, you can actually now change the appearance of your character. So you can have your guy in a fucking hazmat suit, so you'll stick out in the map and you'll get killed more than anyone else because you're an idiot and you put a hazmat suit on your fucking character. So, I mean, it's a good thing, I think, but at the same time, it's obvious that what's going to happen is people who are competitive with the game are going to figure out what outfits are the best, and they're probably going to have an unfair advantage because they're going to unlock it first because they play the fuck out of their duties. They're going to just sit there playing the duties for a week, and they're going to unlock the best outfits and be fucking half invisible to everyone else, and probably it's just going to be another really abusive thing. That was kind of, I thought, one of the reasons that they never had the character customizations up to now is because they didn't want people to be able to, like, you know, camouflage themselves unfairly and have an advantage in the match. I guess now they're throwing that all away because they've completely obviously run out of fucking new ideas to put into the game, so fuck it all. We'll just fucking do it and throw it all to the wayside, and who cares if the game is fun online as long as you can play your duties and have your fucking neon hazmat suit on. So, at the end, they ran the trailer for the game. And the trailer for the game basically shows that America is now, and when I say America, I should say the United States, is now the underdog. Apparently there was some war or some event that happened that decimated our military, and really the only people that we have left that are viable they're called ghosts, which are the undercover guys who sneak in and they do whatever they need to do. And so they showed this, you know, trailer for the game, which they then said it was gameplay, which no, that's not fucking gameplay, that's a trailer for the game. I want to see real gameplay, not you play a trailer that obviously you probably doctored. So, that was pretty much it for the press conference. It just ended abruptly. They didn't even say, have a good night or anything. After the trailer ended, it just ended. And they said, see us at E3. At E3, we'll have a lot more announcements on games, okay? So now, let's give my overall thoughts and my opinion on the press conference. First of all, you have to directly compare it to their competitor. And their competitor right now is Sony with the PlayStation 4. Now, there have been some rumors and rumblings that there will be other consoles coming out shortly, but right now we're just going to talk about the big two that are coming out this year. Sony's press conference focused on how their console is working directly with developers to make great games. And the majority of the press conference was spent not talking about specs, not talking about crazy add-on features, although there was some silliness in there. Most of it was actually kind of talking about the new games that were going to be coming out, to which I think that was the reason why everyone enjoyed the Sony press conference. Microsoft decided to not do that and not appeal to their core demographic gamers and instead try to market their console to the a more widespread audience. What they're trying to do is tell you the Xbox One is not just a gaming console. This is a console where you can watch your movies, because by the way, I didn't mention this, but I did write it down, so I should mention, the Xbox One has a Blu-ray drive. That's right. So just confirming it does have Blu-ray. I guess they figured, you know, it's really dumb if we don't do it at this point, especially because we're telling everyone this is the place to watch your movies or whatever. We got to put a Blu-ray drive in it. Plus, I'm sure for storage capacity-wise with this new generation of games, putting on standard DVDs just wasn't going to cut it anymore. So, what Xbox is doing is trying to appeal to a widespread audience, a mainstream one, and say it's not just here to play your hardcore video games. You can watch your movies, you can have your TV hooked up to it, you can chat over Skype, you know, with people, so you don't really need a phone anymore because you can Skype people, although how many people are going to be able to talk to you on Skype? Let's be realistic here. And how many people, you know, aren't like balls naked at home all the time so that you call them and you're like, oh my god, I fucking shouldn't have called you on Skype. I should have just picked up the phone, man. It's too much information. But really what they're doing is they're trying to diversify their console. Is this a good strategy? I don't know. Obviously, if you were a gamer who was tuning into the stream just to hear about games, you were very fucking disappointed, and it was an extremely boring press conference in that regard. If you're sitting there, I want to hear about games. Okay, television, movies, voice commands. Oh, great, another fucking Kinect that I'm not going to use. Oh, an NFL partnership. Oh, this is great. Does the thing fucking play games, or, you know, is it a fucking cable box? So, if you were a gamer, you were probably very, very disappointed by the press conference. And being that we're just weeks from E3, I think what Microsoft really was going for with this press conference was, in E3, we're going to talk way more than we need to about our games anyway, so just leave that for E3. Now we really just want to announce the cool innovations in the console. And I can understand that, but when you have a really good press conference that Sony just had with their PlayStation 4, you kind of have to live up to that, and they did not in any way, shape, or form. They did not live up to Sony's press conference, and that's very disappointing, because here was an opportunity. Here's our next-gen console. By the way, we're also working with developers. Here are the great games that are coming out for it. Oh, by the way, you will be able to watch TV and movies, and then you'll have a new Kinect, and that'll be nice, but for the people who are our main audience, here's what you want, and that's not what they focused on. And I almost feel that from this press conference that Xbox is going the way of Nintendo. And just to clarify, that's not a good thing. Nintendo was really, really good at making video games, okay? And then what they decided to do was try to, every time they released a console, they were going to do some new innovative thing with the console. So you had Nintendo 64 that had better graphics and a weird-ass fucking controller that no one liked because it was fucking hideous, okay? It was very bad. Then you had the GameCube, which didn't even look like a game console. We have to use these little mini discs, and we're going to have another weird-ass controller. It's like, what the hell is this? Then the Wii comes out. Oh, motion controls. Here we go. The generation of motion. Everyone's got to dance around their fucking couch like an asshole to play a simple fucking video game, which no one ever asked for. But that gambit actually paid off for Nintendo. By complete chance. I don't think that it was anything by their design, but the common person who didn't play video games said, oh look, gimmicky bullshit, this is fun, but they played it for 10 minutes and then put it down and never fucking played it again. But Nintendo made their money. Then all of a sudden, sales plummeted after a few years because guess what? It was a flash-in-the-pan gimmick. So now the Wii U comes out, what are they focusing on? More gimmicks. Oh, how do we appeal to the mainstream person? Have a fucking giant-ass controller with a screen on it that is so fucking huge, no one ever wants to fucking use it. And so that way, when your kid's playing a video game and you want to watch TV, they could still play the game on this, and you can watch TV. Guess what? No one cares. No one wants your stupid gimmick bullshit anymore, and that's why Nintendo is in dire straits right now financially. They just found out that the Wii U is a huge tank. The Wii U is not selling, and I'm not just naysaying, I'm not a Nintendo hater. I actually like Nintendo, but the sales numbers are there. The business world has said the Wii U is a flop. The Wii U did not sell at all. Game developers are actually coming out and saying, we don't even want to port our games to the Wii U because it costs too much money, and until the damn thing sells more and guarantees us that we're going to make money on our investment, we're not even porting our games to the damn thing. I don't know if Microsoft, has, fucking snorted crystal meth, because, you need to focus on your core audience. If anything, the Wii U just showed us that people don't care about these gimmicks and these new things. They want a great gaming console, and that's what they're going to spend their money on. And especially in this economy, when you've got the release window for both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One coming up later this year, you need to focus on why your console is the better gaming console. Sure, your console can do a bunch of other stuff, but if you just talk about that stuff, you're going to miss out. All the people who are the hardcore gamers are going to say, well, if they haven't been talking about games, fuck it, I'm getting the PlayStation 4. And that's what I really think Nintendo missed the mark with in this press conference. This was their big opportunity to announce the game. Look, he says, listen, 15 console-exclusive games and 8 new franchises. What the fuck are they? You could have talked about it. This was the time. Now, people have to wait a month for E3 to even find out anything about the games that are coming out. And as everyone knows, E3 can be kind of a mishmash with all the stuff that gets announced at it. Stuff can be confusing, stuff can get lost. And they really should have taken this time with this special press conference to talk about games, and they just did not. It was a big flub, in my opinion. Now, who knows? Maybe this will turn out to a positive thing for them, because maybe, just like with Nintendo, this will be their 15 minutes of fame, and, oh wow, this thing, I could watch TV on it, I could do all that, I'm going to buy it, it's a gimmick, you know what I mean? But the thing is, the Microsoft Kinect Like, that was their gimmick, and it didn't really do that well. A lot of people bought it, and again, just like the Wii, oh, this is cool, and they stopped fucking using it. And let's be honest, what the fuck has come out to use the Kinect with in the past year that anyone wanted to buy? So again, if their gimmick is watching TV and movies and having Skype and, oh, I could talk to my console, here's what I want to say. What if I'm just in my living room having casual conversation about my Xbox, and I happen to say Xbox on or Xbox One, or put the Xbox on the table. Oh, Xbox turns on. You know, like, voice commands are stupid. Voice commands you shouldn't even be using. I want something that has an on and off switch so I don't fuck up and accidentally turn it on and off. A big problem with my Kinect when I first got it is that at night, I relax here on my couch and watch TV, and I would have, the table might be up like this, and I have drinks and stuff on the table, and I would just be sitting here, and I would be like, I go to scratch, my Xbox would move, but my Xbox would actually physically pause the movie I was watching. It would jump to a different spot on the dashboard just because I did this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't want motion in my fucking living room, because then I can't even move anymore. Everything I do is going to command the thing to do something stupid. And this is what Microsoft doesn't seem to get. And I'm really worried now about Xbox One, because it could turn out to be the next failed thing, just like the Wii U, because they're not really focusing on what they need to focus on, being that it's primarily supposed to be a game console. I think they've lost their way. So overall, the conference was interesting because for the first time you saw the console, for the first time you heard the specs, for the first time you heard some of the cool new features that it's going to have. But I'll be honest with everyone, as me being a gamer, that's primarily what I am. I already have a cable box, okay? I already have a Blu-ray player, which is my PlayStation 3, okay? I already have all the stuff. Skype, I have a computer with a webcam. I'm actually using the webcam right now. I already have the ability to live stream my gameplay. I already have the ability to do all these things. It seems like what Microsoft is doing is taking things that you already have and putting them into one. But I already have them. So if I already have them, why would I buy them again? You see what I'm saying? Why would I buy another cable box when the one I have works? Why would I buy something to Skype on when I have a computer that I could already Skype on? So this is what I think Microsoft is missing out on. If these were revolutionary new things that nobody had, then maybe people would run out to buy the Xbox One. But I already have this stuff, so why the fuck would I run out to get it? It doesn't seem to make sense to me. And if you really want my opinion, at this point, unless the console exclusives that they're going to announce at E3 are like huge, like acquisitions, like Metal Gear Solid 5 is only going to fucking be on Xbox One. Holy shit, okay. I would crap my pants, and I would say that is a reason to buy the Xbox One. You know? The big series are going to be only on. But if every game's going to be cross-platform, and you've got one console that you know is working actively with the developers to make the best games, versus a console who their attention is all over the fucking place because they want to focus on TV and movies and Skype and all kinds of bullshit, who are you going to go with if you can only afford one console later this year? I think it's a no-brainer at this point. So really, Microsoft had better hope that their E3 press conference and the stuff that they're going to present at E3 is really good, because this press conference was very disappointing, and in my opinion, it was just, it was a dud. They had a great opportunity to come out strong just like Sony did, and they completely flubbed it. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. I now feel, after seeing these two press conferences, that the positioning of these companies might actually flop, or I don't want to say flop, flip-flop at the end of the year. What I think is going to happen is that everyone's going to buy the PlayStation 4, Xbox is going to play catch-up, because think about the PlayStation 3 when it first came out. When the PlayStation 3 first came out, yes, they showed games, but, oh, it's got Bluetooth, and it's got Blu-ray, and it's got this, and it's got that. And all they wanted to talk about were all the shit that no one cares about. And so they wanted to just tout that their new fucking console was revolutionary and cutting edge. Then come to find out, it was so revolutionary and cutting edge that the games were harder to fucking develop for it, and a lot of game studios didn't even want to make games for it, okay? So this is what happens when you get distracted from your main goal, which should be to put out a good game console, and that's where I really feel Microsoft is right now. Hopefully, they really have a good E3 showing, because I do like, I'll be honest, I like my Xbox 360. I do think that Xbox Live is better than PlayStation Network, being that they just announced they're buying 300,000 servers for Xbox Live. I think that maybe Xbox Live may, have a significant lead on Sony when it comes to the online experience. I could be completely wrong. This is all conjecture. But to see them lose market share and come out second after being the dominating force in consoles for quite a long time this generation, that's going to be ridiculous. And I don't know. I think that they've lost their way. Whoever is the creative director really needs to fucking go put his head in the toilet and flush all the shit out of it so that they can get back to focusing on games. Alright. So that's it. Enough about me, here ranting about the press conference. I've given you all the information. You can take it with a grain of salt, and you can judge for yourself whether or not you think that Microsoft did a good job during this press conference or not. And I guess we're going to have to see. In a few weeks, we're just going to have to see what happens at E3, and if these companies have a good showing. Hey, good flip-flop. I could be eating my words because Microsoft could come out with literally 15 amazing console-exclusive games, and Sony might have 3. And now everyone will be like, well, Microsoft acted like a bunch of assholes at the press conference, but look at these fucking games that they got, man. Those is what I want to buy the system for. So I could be completely wrong, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Alright, so that's it for my reactions, to this new Xbox One press conference. I hope you enjoyed hearing me talk and rant all about it, and probably during or after E3, I'll also be doing similar videos like this regarding the big 3 press conferences and everything that gets revealed at E3 this year. Unfortunately, it's not looking too good about me going to E3. Let me put it this way. I asked Machinima back in April whether or not there was anything going on regarding E3. Would there be promotional stuff going on? Would they be sending partnered people to E3? And they basically told me nothing right now. They'll keep an ear open. I sent 2 emails in the past week to Machinima regarding it, and they're not even responding to my emails. So I get the feeling that there's nothing going on this year. There's no game that they're promoting or whatever where they would want partners to go. I tried my best, but it's not looking positive. Now, keep in mind, all this could change last minute, but I'm really not thinking that it's going to change. And you know what? Quite honestly, I'm okay with it because The Last of Us is a huge game. Probably one of the best games of the year, one of the most anticipated games of the year, comes out E3 week. And so that'll be good that I'll be able to play it launch week. Plus, I'll be still covering everything from E3 anyway. I'll just be doing it from home. So that's the bottom line. I'll be covering E3 from home probably just like everyone else. And that's that. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. And I hope that you will, continue to follow along here so that you can see my reactions to all the other things coming up later this year. That's it. Thanks a lot. Peace.